Hi, my name is Amanda Clinton,
I'm Barima ON.
and this is This Perfect Day, where we're going to be focusing on vibrations.
Yes, it's a beautiful Sunday.
In This Perfect Day, we're really focusing on vibrations today because it's one of the principles that Hermes Trismegistus established in his 7 principles. And I mean, he lived over 2,000 years ago, which is like 470 years to 580 years before Christ. And, you know, he really discovered alchemy and astrology, and people used to come and sit at his feet from all over the world, and he was a contemporary of Abraham. So 7 of his principles were really good in terms of like all is mind, vibration, you know, like nothing rests, everything is dual, and everything flows in and out.
All this change, all this motion.
All is motion, every cause has its effect, and gender is everything. And although this might not seem like anything profound, I really think that if we raise our vibration as a nation, we could transform this nation. If we raise our vibrations as individuals, we can transform our lives and our family lives. So that's why we're really focusing today on how to create a perfect day in order to set up your new world and stuff. So what do you think about that, Barima?
Well, Amanda, how I see it is the best place to start in all things is really with ourselves, in our perceptions, our mind states, and our attitudes. And for me, that's what vibrations actually come down to in terms of the self. You have to essentially take your vibrations into a different plane, entirely into a different realm. And whilst that might sound quite abstract, maybe even a little too metaphysical for a Sunday afternoon, I think that it really is just something as simple as changing your attitudes and responses to a situation you find yourself in, if it's a situation that you wish to leave or just transcend or elevate. And in order to do so, you have to be willing to look and act and sound as if the situation you're in is no longer applicable to you. And in doing so, you take a first step into transcending that environment that you wish to leave behind, and start moving into another one, into a newer plane where the vibration you're putting out, if you like, is in tune with one that is much more to your liking and to your desires.
For sure, because I mean, to come up higher, I mean, literally, you just have to think of vibration in its simplest sense is to raise the Christ consciousness in self to such an extent it flows out of you. And that might seem like a lot to say, but like raising the Christ consciousness in yourself in terms of your vibration till it flows out of you can simply be put like having high vibrations, you know, vibrations that are centered on love, peace, patience, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such there is no law, which can, you know, shift you into that sort of energy to believe in yourself and to go out and do things, as opposed to low vibrations which lead you to be depressed and non-active. And low vibrations are like evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, wickedness, deceit, envy.
Fox News.
Yeah, watching too much news is not good, because it's just overloading your mind with all this like negativity, slander, arrogance, and foolishness, you know. That doesn't keep your vibrations high. So in order to set up your new world, essentially, you really need to keep your vibrations to such an extent that it transforms your life and creates a new reality.
Well, to put it simply, you just need to let the positive in. You need to actually be willing to, I guess, transcend the human characteristic for focusing on the negative. And that obviously is not easy. Our brains are hardwired to see the negatives in situations, in potential outcomes, in interpersonal relationships, in our existence, in our planet. And
because we run like a program, we literally run as human beings like a computer program in terms of our subconscious mind. Whatever you repetitively feed your mind, and whatever it has been inbuilt from a child, this is how you think, this is what you achieve, this is the salary you earn, etc., etc. These are different programs running in your mind, like this is my normality. But the wonderful thing about the human mind is that you can reprogram it by habitually doing certain patterns, like every day. Like if you habitually do something for 20 minutes, like time yourself and say I am, and then you say whatever you want to become in life, and you're just in that feeling state, soon enough your subconscious mind is actually going to believe you are this person, and then you're going to go out in this world and look for opportunities like that. That's how simple the subconscious mind really works.
Yeah, so at the same time, one cannot say that it's an easy thing. Simplicity is not ease, after all. And at the end of the day, what's the reason that your brain behaves in this way that can even run counter to your desires for change is that your brain is essentially a survival computer. All these things that it does to you, all these tricks it likes to play, all these shifts in your perspective that can run from positive back to negative are because your brain is hooked into ensuring your survival, which means looking over your shoulder, if you like, for anything that it can perceive as a threat. To move out of a comfort zone is threatening to the brain, if not even to you as a conscious thinking person. Because
the security of a job, the security of what people say you are and think you are. But once you start moving to the territory of saying who you are and what you want to achieve, I mean, I think I'm saying this because that was a huge breakthrough for me in terms of redefining who I said I was and writing a new narrative for my script. I took a blank piece of paper and I literally, I'm not going to show you all the other things that I wrote on this, but this is like my habits. I like get pads of paper.
Too much paper perhaps, you know, that's not overwhelm people.
Yeah, but like you basically, it's called, like for instance, it's a technique called hypnotic writing. So for 20 minutes before your feet hit the floor in the morning, you're just writing about the positivity of how your day is going to go, what your goals are for that day, that month, or that year, and you just keep on writing. And then when the timer stops at 20 minutes and you stop, and then you go and start your day and have this perfect day. Another technique of setting up a person's new world, what technique would you recommend for people setting up their new lifestyle?
Well,
using vibrations.
Well, I always like to return to the mind on this, because at the end of the day, it is not, it is not guaranteed to succeed if you set yourself unrealistic expectations. Which is to say that for some people, to shift their mind state in the ways that we have just outlined is not easy. There is a difference between looking at yourself, yes, of course, but it's a little more diverse than that. There is really a gap between waking up, looking in your mirror every morning and saying, I'm going to be a wealthy person in 12 months time, and actually being a wealthy person in 12 months time. That sets up expectations. It sets up expectations, and rather than act as if everyone is on the level playing field, for those who may not be able to shift themselves into that state of affirmation right away, it is still very achievable by managing the expectation, rather than saying, I'm going to have taken a huge step in 12 months, because I'm going to have taken a certain step in 1 week, or 1 month, or one day.
I am. In terms of, if you look in the mirror, this is another technique. I just spoke about the hypnotic writing technique. Another technique is the mirror technique. You look in the mirror for, 5 minutes. You can start off with, time yourself, and then build up to 20 minutes. But then you literally just look in the mirror and say what I am. You know what I mean? And even if you're not exactly what you say you are, you become what you say you are. And so it's better to say I am beautiful, I am rich, I am successful, I am prosperous, I am impactful, I am expansive. Before you know it, you use all these adjectives and you keep on retraining the subconscious mind of what you are. And the subconscious mind will literally help you throughout the day in terms of going out to look for new opportunities and new encounters and new people, and bring to you whatever you say you are, because sometimes these kind of things take a little bit of faith, and faith is the things that you can't see, literally. And for me, I mean, blind faith in what I said I was, and then it kind of happened just like I said I was, because I had the energy to back that up. So I really believe in that.
Well, for me, faith is also about openness. It's about openness to those things you can't see, and being willing to trust that they can help you along your path in life. So that also extends to you. The things you can't see are often about your own potential. Mm-hmm. And for me, I find it actually very useful to say I'm open to believing in this facet of my potential in order to start acting on it. And in little ways from here and there, when I wanted to become an artist, for example, I told myself I was willing to be open to the possibility that I could create an artwork that I would be satisfied with. And when that was achieved, I then told myself that I was willing to be open to the idea that someone would want to hang it in their home. And fortunately, quite a few people appeared through whichever promotional means or word of mouth that I was able to muster, and decided to purchase these works for me and hang them in their homes. And so it goes.
Visualizing. Like, I read a book, I think it was The Power of the Subconscious Mind, and it was a really good part of the book that it said, for instance, the author was very good at selling houses, and he taught other people this technique as well. And literally you'd have like a signboard outside and for sale. And so he would literally, even before the house was sold, he would literally pick up the signboard, from its roots, and then just throw it in the bin, symbolically, that, the house, which meant that the house had just been sold. And then I guess, the signboard reappeared, and not long after, the house was sold. So training our mind by visualizing and doing acts, you don't just visualize, but you get into the body language, the attitude of someone who is successful. You start dressing like success even before you are successful. Things like that really can get you into a higher vibration, because, when people talk about this high vibration, low vibration thing, it's real. If you surround yourself with negative people, your thoughts are negative, your mindset is negative, your life is negative, your dressing is negative, and everything that is about you is negative, lo and behold, you might bring negativity. So what would happen if you consciously and actively, and even if it killed you, before you get out of bed, you practice things like hypnotic writing, or the mirror technique of what you are, I am, blah blah blah, for like 20 minutes, or you increase the vibe of your day by just thinking positive thoughts, or you do what I do, which is I walk for like at least an hour and a half every morning, and I time myself, and in this walk I take different routes, and I think about my day, I think about positive things, and I don't really like going for a walk with other people because it makes me focused on planning my day, my week, and my year. So literally, vibration has the ability to act like a tuning fork, in terms of like, if you hit one tuning fork, it vibrates the other thing. So you are that tuning fork, and if you vibrate at a certain level, you're literally going to attract things that vibrate on that same level. So if you want what you want, you basically have to get to that vibration. And if you get to the vibration of a millionaire, you will become a millionaire. And if you get to the vibration of different things, you will become whatever you say you are.
Of course. But even if I don't espouse on the same vibrational frequency, if you like, that you do, I still nevertheless believe that that the principles that underpin it are real. And the reason that is because I believe that that vibration is change of motion, and that in order to find new ways to live, that starts with change of motion.
Yeah.
So for me,
every person, every atom, every molecule tells a story, a purpose, a pattern, through the vibration which emanates from it. That's why was it Einstein that said, if you want to think of the universe, think in terms of vibration. And Tesla was always about energy. Everything is energy in this
exactly.
world.
So if you look at this as a form of inviting and creating change and movement in your life, then it is essentially shifting your vibration. And when you shift your vibration, there is really no telling what you're capable of when you've invited this new, different and more positive energy into your life.
This power is limitless. That is why people, I was just listening to Reverend Ike, who's now dead, an old pastor in out of New York, who used to do these sermons in 1960s, 1970s, Reverend Ike. And he was literally saying, on the way I was listening to, he was literally saying, he moved to New York eating dog food. That's how low he started when he moved. He had no money. He was eating dog food just to survive in New York. And, you know, he got his vibration, his mindset, his belief in himself so high. He was like a very prominent speaker for like over 50 years, and he ended up in like the White House in terms of giving speeches, but he inspired a generation in terms of what positivity and belief and raising your vibration can do for you. So without money, you have your mind. And so I think the mind is a good place to start.
No, the mind is the perfect place to start. The mind is the only place to start, and always will be. Because at the end of the day, the only things you control in this world are your thoughts, your actions, and your mind. There is no other place to start, Amanda. It really is that simple. You start by changing even one little thing, as I was saying earlier. You change one little thing about your day or your routine that you think may make a more positive and enriching change. And in doing so, if you prove to yourself that this step outside of your comfort zone and your daily existence has made a difference, doesn't matter how big, and definitely does not matter how small. Even the Bible says that one should not be afraid of small beginnings. So for me, that's
very much
what
the Bible. That's not bad. That's not a bad place to start.
Yes, I've had a breakthrough.
So by just developing the right vibration, like begets like. You know, each person literally radiates the vibration to which they attune themselves. So you can literally just shift your vibration so your external reality is more in alignment with, you know, peace and joy and the life you want, and you'll get it. And I'm not just, you know, like preaching this stuff because, you know, I have nothing better to do on a Sunday afternoon, but just because I really have seen how raising your vibration is so effective. And I recently took a holiday where there was a lot of culture and there was a lot of different things, and it just reminded me of how good it is that a nation is the vibration that is high collectively and individually. And when I stepped foot on the tarmac when I came back, the first thing I said is that no one is going to steal this peace, this joy, this vibration that I got on my holiday. And I'm going to do everything to just maintain my peace. And one of the things was just keeping people away that were just negative and destructive. And the other thing was just focusing on techniques that kept my vibration high. Techniques such as, you know, hypnotic writing. Before my feet hits the floor for 20 minutes, I'm just writing about this perfect day and my goals for that day, that month, that year, and just being lost in those thoughts. And then my subconscious mind can go out and literally make that happen. And another thing you can do, this is a little weird or different, but
it's definitely weird and different. As you know, we need another soundtrack.
We need another soundtrack. But this is called like a Himalayan singing bowl, and whatever your religion or your belief, basically, if you're looking to focus your attention so that you can focus your vibration, you can just literally time yourself, you know, for like 5 to 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and then you just literally do this and then listen to the vibration. And I'm not saying that the vibration necessarily is going to like absolutely change your world, but it might. And the other thing is that at least by doing this motion, whilst you're focused on one particular thought, you're focusing your thoughts as the vibration is kind of a bit natural. And then you have to put your hand like this in order to...
Is this a daily habit of yours?
More than a daily habit, like morning, evening, you know, but if you get stressed, you just kind of like...
What else does it bring to you?
Well, it's not juju for anyone. It's just it's something that monks use, and actually people from different parts of the world, not just monks, use it. And I was always fascinated because I just saw it on Amazon or something. And then when I first got it, I didn't even know. I mean, I couldn't even vibrate it because it actually is a technique to make it sound. And in focusing your thoughts on one thing and having this sort of like natural vibration, you can time yourself and then you're focusing your subconscious mind. So that's just another habit, but it's not for everyone, but it's also something that, you know, people can try out. Thanks, Barima, for that, for making me look... Anyway, go on. What do you want to say?
No, not at all, not at all. I mean, because that is an educational moment for me.
Really.
Well, yes. I mean, I have to understand that it makes more than just a calming tuning fork sound, after all.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So by literally changing your frequency, you can realign with the frequency you want. Because with the Hermes Trismegistus teaching of everything is movement and vibration is everything in this universe, we have to remember that the mind may be transmuted, from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration. And it's a mental art of literally focusing your thoughts on what you want, feeling it. Because if you habitually focus your thoughts on something and you don't feel it, your subconscious is not going to feel it and it's not going to bring it to you. So literally having images that are projected around you, having books that say the power of your mind, the power of the subconscious mind, think big, live big, raise your vibrations. These sort of books, even if you just have the book titles around you, your subconscious mind is constantly surrounded by things like that. Instead of like jumping onto the news and seeing how people are killing each other and all the negativity, raise your vibration. If you're not going to read the books, just put the titles around you, facing you. And,
Or keep practicing the writing. I mean, go from rhythm writing to post-it notes. Write the titles of the lessons around your workspace, write them around your car if you like. I mean, I'm not judging.
Yeah.
But moreover, just remember to look back at where you were, and to look back at where you are when you've overcome, when you've gone forward, and then look back and say, what else can I do?
And how to set up your new world is to broadcast a new signal, broadcast a new vibration to yourself, to your family, to your friends, to the world, that this is the new you and this is how it's going to be, set the new narrative out. Because one way of like broadcasting a new signal in terms of the vibration that you give off is to just literally focus on things that excite you. Like if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, but what am I going to be broadcasting? Like, what's my new vibration? Who am I? What do I even want? Anything that excites you and doesn't kill you and hurts other people is kind of an indication of the right direction to go. And just create in your mind persistently, because your subconscious mind does not believe in right or wrong. It just accepts anything you give it. And so just focus on imagining things persistently, and then live your day out, and you'll see the things you attract, and you'll see the things you have energy for, and the things that you pour into. And just be consistent in terms of dwelling in your mind at the end stage of where you want to be in life. And be aware of who you're listening to, the beliefs, and don't criticize. Just focus on your energy, on what you like, because honestly, your source is your pure potential. And if you have no money and you have belief in yourself and a good vibration, I really think the world is yours in terms of anything you want to achieve in this world, you can do it.
I think that's very well said.
But I mean, I'm a big believer. I'm setting new goals for the second half of 2021.
And what kind of goals are you setting?
Oh, it's so big that I want to just achieve it, in case anybody thinks I'm crazy. Because they're big goals and I really think it's possible. But don't necessarily scatter your forces, because vibration is a force. And if every day you're building up this force, don't scatter your force by telling people who are often closest to you to just dismantle that and bring a sense of doubt, etc. Believe in who you are, what you are, set your goals, go out and achieve it, and achieve the end goal. That's my mantra.
Well, to put it a smaller way, share your goals with people that you acknowledge and believe are actually going to help you with it. Do not share it with people who you think are just going to make you feel better about it. There is a major difference, like you wouldn't believe, because one will be there to advise or even directly help you in taking it to the next level, and the other one is just there to listen, but may not necessarily advance you. If you get nothing more than some nice words and platitudes, that's not helpful to you. This is about taking action. This is about moving up to that higher plane, and you need to be willing, able, and aware to surround yourself with the kinds of people who are on that higher plane, that are willing to share that plane with you. There is going to be space for your dream as long as you look for and create the right environment to ascend.
Yeah, because everything is about this one force operating throughout this world, this energy that is literally downloaded into you, and it's downloaded into you as pure potential, that you can do anything with it, good, bad, negative, positive, polarity. This is another thing that Hermes Trismegistus spoke of, this polarity. And you can shift your polarity from negative to positive by just saying, I'm going to be positive, and just carrying out exercises. But ultimately, high vibrations, like I said before, is things like love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such there is no law. So if you're feeding into everything that is of love, of joy, of peace, of kindness, of goodness, which anger, frustration, violence, sexual immorality, theft, murder, evil thoughts are not part of that. Those are low vibrations that will make you feel negative, depressed, and not go out there and achieve anything. So keep your vibrations high in order to achieve the perfect day, because it's like magic. It's almost like there's a science behind those who achieve and those who don't. And part of that science is goal setting and habitual goal setting, and never giving up on that goal and raising your vibrations. Yeah.
Very sage indeed.
Yeah. So we hope that this has helped in terms of being able to set up your new world, because literally it is a beautiful world in terms of you can create a beautiful world for yourself. And if we were created to dominate and expand, literally that is our only mandate. If you've ever wondered what your mandate is in this world, to dominate and expand, the whole point is downloading this one force, this God power into you, and ensuring it's led to the path of positivity and productivity and just creating, as opposed to not creating negativity and death in terms of your life. So just make sure that every day is this perfect day by raising your vibrations to such an extent that you are unstoppable on this planet. Because I think one of the most one of the phrases in the Bible that almost no pastor touches, because it's almost, they don't know how to deal with it, is you are gods, you are all creatures or creations of the Most High. And that's Psalm 82:6. And it's basically saying that we are creations. And if we are creations, we have a creator who wants us to follow after him by endlessly creating. And so we're supposed to be these mini versions of the Most High God. And that's why the Bible says you are gods, you are all creations of the Most High. But if you don't have enough money, if you hate your job, if you hate the person you're with, if you hate in 20 years time, you're probably not going to have much savings, and you just hate your car, hate your lifestyle, hate everything, get a blank piece of paper, set out some goals, and create a new life, a new you, and make sure you raise your vibrations every day in order to get that.
Don't give them too much homework, all right? Hey.
Okay, we'll leave something else for another episode. But again, my name is Amanda Clinton.
BMON.
And this is This Perfect Day, where we're basically looking at 7 ancient teachings from Hermes Trismegistus, who existed, over 2,000 years ago and a couple of hundred years before Christ. And he was a master of, teaching and alchemy and astrology. And he essentially also taught mental alchemy in terms of how you can transform your world. So we hope that this has been helpful, and do leave your comments so that we can improve this segments, etc. But we're very excited about this because our power, as Africans, is to literally change this planet and change our continent and change our countries and change our individual selves. Because if Egypt was the cradle of civilization and such knowledge went out throughout the whole world and like everybody in the world came to sit at this guy's feet, then perhaps it might not be a bad idea to sort of reread what he said, tie that into a Christian message as well, and then just see how much of our lives are transformed by doing so.
Indeed. Please don't forget to click the subscribe button as well, so you can stay in touch with us and our updates. And always remember, let nothing limit your mind, because everything starts there.
Everything starts with the mind. Have a blessed
Thank you
day.
very much.